Today we are looking at a 2010 Honda Element EX purchased in February of 2010.
We haven't been doing OptiCoat for 9 years, so we haven't seen a 9-year-old car coated.
It was protected with OptiCoat Pro a month later in March 2010, so just over 9 years ago.
It looks like a freshly coated car. We haven't polished it, we haven't done anything, we just decontaminated it, and it looks beautiful. It looks like the first day. I'm sure this is how it looked when you guys first got it applied. So,
back in 2010, I was good friends with a guy named Danny who owned a mobile detailing business that I played in a band with. Today you may know him as OptiCoat's Vice President, Dan Williams. Oh, how things have changed. Anyway, when I bought my car, he sold me on protecting it with some magic coating called OptiCoat Pro. It always lives under the extreme Arizona sun. I don't have a garage. The passenger door opens up into cactus, and it pretty much lives under a tree. I don't wash it very often, and don't kill me, but I've run it through a car wash plenty of times. Now for a bit of background for full transparency. I am the creative director for OptiCoat. However, I am not a detailer, and I'm hardly what you'd consider a car guy. What I am is a consumer that planned on keeping his car forever. A while back, the idea of making a video about a car that had OptiCoat on it for a long time came up, and I realized, hey, that was my car. Now, I've seen plenty of OptiCoat video reviews after 1 year, 3 years, maybe even 5, but never 9 years. In the interest of validation, I searched for the best detailers in Phoenix, Arizona, found #1 on Yelp, went to their website, scrolled through it, and found that they are a certified OptiCoat installer. So I reached out to Orrin and Pauline Carrioff of Race Day Premium Detailing and asked if they'd be interested in making a video with me about my Honda to see how the coating is held up and what the condition is after 9 years. So we're gonna let the professionals handle things right here at my house, find out what their impressions are and how well the coating is held up, considering, in their words, the tiny forms of neglect I've exposed it to. So I've got the area ready to work, and we'll see how it goes tomorrow. Good morning, and we are back. The Honda is here, and Pauline and Nick from Race Day should be showing up any second. We're pretty much gonna hand the show over to Pauline, find out what we're gonna do to the Honda and how it's gonna work today.
we don't really live in a weathery type of state where it snows and you get a lot of salt and stuff, but we still have the dirt, the dust, the rain, and everything that's sitting on top of the coating. So we want to take all of that off and make sure that it's all shiny and beautiful when we're done and there's no contamination.
Tell me, what are you seeing now just by like walking?
Just looking at like bird droppings, a lot of dirt. That's just kind of normal in Arizona. Pollen, you know, little bugs, and it feels pretty gritty. Before we start, we're going to do like a quick pre-rinse with our pressure sprayer just to knock off any like loose dirt, get on the wheel wells, get all the dirt out of the wheel wells, and just give it like a quick rinse just to take off the surface stuff before we start. So when we do a pre-rinse, we just pre-rinse with a little O&R in a foam cannon, just like a little quick pre-rinse with O&R. A little water, and rinse off the whole vehicle. So see, just with that pre-rinse, how nice it looks. They already took off a lot of stuff. This is power clean. This is the first step. So basically we're just going to spray it on pretty heavily. This is like a great wheel cleaner as well, because if your wheels aren't super dirty, which yours aren't, this is a perfect wheel cleaner. You can use Ferrex as a wheel cleaner too, but this is good for people who take care of their wheels. You actually take care of your wheels too, or your tires too. They're not super dirty.
So for all the neglect I've thrown at this car, at least I've taken care of the tires and wheels.
Yeah, the wheels and tires look perfect. You can already, if you feel this paint, it's pretty smooth. I mean, we want it to be like glass, but this is pretty smooth just with that power clean. People will say, oh, there's no beading left, which is a kind of a main determining factor for customers that their OptiCoat is still working. And they don't realize that all this contamination sitting on their paint is the reason it's not beading anymore. It's not that the OptiCoat is bad, it's that they need to decontaminate their paint. And we recommend doing that at least once a year.
And remember, I started saying 9 years. Like, I haven't done this in 9 years. Pauline's recommending
once a year.
Once a year.
Once a year at minimum.
I'm learning.
When you get a lot of bugs on your front end, and that happens when you're traveling, or if you know, springtime brings a lot of bugs, if you let them sit on your paint, they etch in the acid from the bugs, and they leave etch marks. And depending on how long you've left them on there, usually you can't get them out. But with OptiCoat, no matter how long you let those bugs sit on there, they're just on top of the coating. So they're not gonna etch in, and you can get them off, and then your paint still looks perfect. Okay. You said this is a 2010.
I did, it is a 2010.
And it is, I mean, you know, as far as I know, that Arizona is harsh on paint. If you drive around Arizona, all the cars are oxidized, or at least panels of them.
And the plastic.
And the plastics are the first to go. I have seen so many of these type of vehicles where this plastic is gray because the sun. All we have is sun here, so it damages paint like you wouldn't believe. But your car, it is actually, it looks, I mean, this looks like a new car, you know? I mean, obviously for the years, you know, but it looks good. It looks really good. It's well taken care of. And I mean, having the OptiCoat on it obviously saved your paint. You don't have a garage, so it's sitting outside 90%, you know, 100% of the time. So yeah, it looks good.
Here's the deal, I'm totally not pumping them for any information, but this is what we were all hoping to hear, right?
We did the power clean step where we've power cleaned the whole car, O&R dampened rag to agitate the power clean, make it work its best. Now we're gonna do a quick rinse to get all of the power clean off of the vehicle. And then we're gonna go to our next step, which is the Ferrex.
Pauline and Nick have done the first couple of steps of this decom wash, and I wanted to take a second and get their impressions on where they think it's at.
Just with the power clean step, you can tell the beading wants to come back. It's sheeting and everything. So depending on the contamination on your car, this might be the only step you need. This car needs a few more steps. It's smooth, but there's some contamination not allowing the water to bead up like it should.
Why does it need a few more steps?
He doesn't wash his car frequently, which is a typical thing for most people. He told me 4 times a year at most. There's some contamination, but that's just typical of cars, really. I mean, unless you're a detailer and you're out there buffing your car every day or waxing it.
The reason we OptiCoat cars is to take that contamination, set it on the top, so that way your maintenance on your car is the easiest that it can possibly be. The best way to explain it is you want your car to stay as glossy and as glass finished, so that way when you run your hand across it, it's smooth.
Ferrex takes off any minerals, heavy metals, brake dust. Now for this, we're not going to agitate with a dampened O&R towel. We are going to use Optimum's clay mitt to agitate the Ferrex. As you know, clay takes off contamination off the paint. So this clay and Ferrex step is a key important step if it's not beading, because you can feel what's coming off this car.
You want to feel what we're feeling on your car?
Yeah.
Put your hand on it. Like just run it over there.
Run it over a
You
spot
can
right
feel
here.
the grit.
Okay, I'm going to feel the difference. So
this is a smooth.
this is the smooth part.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh wow. Just getting right into
Do you
it.
feel that like it's super gritty? See, even after that power clean step, there was still stuff on your paint.
So satisfying.
When we decon a car, this is why we Ferrex. All of the purple you see is all the heavy metals that the Ferrex is actually pulling off of the coating. Usually between each step, you'll see us run our hands across your paint. What we're trying to figure out is how many more steps need to go to get your paint back to a smooth finish. And with the Ferrex step and the clay mitt, we are almost there.
Now let's rinse that off and let's just see what happens.
Let's just see what happens.
It feels beautiful. It feels like glass. It's super good. Is that like sand?
Oh, you might as well have just thrown sand up here.
Can you hear it?
That is just gritty. And your roof and hood are going to be your worst parts, just because that's the most exposed parts of your car. That's way better though.
We're going to go ahead and rinse off the Ferrex off the car, and then we're going to just use our foam cannon with some O&R and water in it and put it over the car and just kind of give it a good rinse, and then we're going to go on to the next step, which is the MDR. This is a mineral deposit remover. If you've ever had hard water or rainwater or anything sit on your paint, it leaves those little circles of water spots. Everybody says water spots. People think you can buff them off, but you really do need to remove the mineral deposits around the water spot in order to remove them completely. So that's what MDR does. You just kind of want to rub it on the paint, and you're going to just let it sit. So we applied MDR to the whole car. We're just kind of letting it sit, do its job, get all the mineral deposits off. This is a thing that you want to let it sit as long as you can, right? I mean, obviously you're not going to let it sit the whole day, but you want to let
10-15 minutes.
10-15 minutes is usually a good idea.
What we're doing now is we're going to rinse the MDR off, and then from there we're going to do an O&R wash, We're gonna see where our coating's sitting at and see if we need to go any further than that.
After all 3 steps, the MDR step, the paint looks great. I mean, if you zoom in on this paint, you could not tell this is a 9-year-old car. The paint looks good. There's no oxidation. There's no fading. You can see the reflection of the, you know, the awning, the trees. It still looks like new paint. You know, minus the normal damage that happens to paint, you know, the nicks or whatever. We can't protect against that. Nobody can. I mean, this is not a force field. I know a lot of people like to sell their coatings as force fields. They're not force fields. But I mean, you can see that this paint looks probably as good, if not better, than the day you bought it. It's still shiny. It's still glossy. It's still great. We're going to put some hyper seal just to make it even more shiny. And this is just, I mean, this is the holy grail of Optimum. You can either 1 squirt per panel, take your towel and put it on top of it, and just rub it into the panel. And like Ivan says, if you can see the streaks, you've used way too much. I don't know what too much is. I just keep using it.
We just streak it up.
Look at that. Oh my gosh, that's beautiful. We are going to spray some water on here, show you the beading has come back after the decontamination wash. As you can see, water's beading just fine. And I'm going to do the famous Ivan trick that he does for everybody. I'm going to show you, can dry your car with a bottle of water.
And then just to prove it's dry,
there's nothing there. We haven't been doing OptiCoat for 9 years. So we haven't seen a 9-year-old car coated. I believed in the product, you believed in the product. Both of our cars are coated. I'm stunned at how beautiful it looks like a freshly coated car. It feels like a freshly coated car. It's amazing. The reflection's amazing. We haven't polished it. We haven't done anything. We just decontaminated it, and it looks beautiful. It looks like the first day. I'm sure this is how it looked when you guys first got it applied. So
the most that most people wait is maybe a year or 2. Then they do a decon only because sprinklers or something like that. Never 9 years of a decon. So for it to come back as the way it is now, this is what I get to look forward to in 9 years on my car.
And we didn't have to reapply it. We didn't have to put anything else on it. A lot of coatings you have to reapply yearly. This has not had anything reapplied. It's just the original coating. 9 years of original coating. And it's the same as it was when it first got applied. Beautiful. I think it's beautiful.
It really is. I mean,
it's so nice.
It's back to the way it should have been.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
You don't hear anything on that roof anymore.
It looks so good.
Worth every bit of it. Worth every bit of it.
9 years of coating.
They kind of spoiled it already in this video. I was hoping to do a little bit of a wrap-up interview with them. However,
they performed exactly like we thought. It's a permanent coating, so we never had to reapply anything. We just decontaminated the paint, and it's back to exactly how it looked when we first coated it. Well, we didn't first coat it, but at what it looked like when it was first coated. And I mean, I'm stunned. I think this car is beautiful. This is exactly what a coated car would look like after we're done. I mean, it's 9 years old, and the paint does not look 9 years old. So I think it looks wonderful.
Absolutely. For 9 years, yeah. And it's only going to be that way for probably the life of this car. Even though we all know that he doesn't take care of it.
He doesn't take care of it. You could tell that when we got here, that he doesn't wash it very often. So yeah, it's...
But for a full decon, and then for it to come back, it speaks volumes for their product.
well, there you have it. A permanent ceramic coating review after 9 years, brought back to life from the gentle neglect that I have given it. I have to thank Race Day Premium Detailing for their time and effort in getting this video made. With a little bit of luck, we'll have them back out here so that I can upgrade this Pro coating to OptiCoat Pro Plus, being that I do plan on keeping this car for another 9 years. We hope you've enjoyed this video. If so, please give us a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell for more OptiCoat videos coming at you. Thanks again. Cheers.